Hi there, my crafty friends. It's Ashley Pfeiffer, the maker behind Stamped AF, coming at you with a very different kind of tutorial this week. Many of you who saw my Instagram and Facebook post wanted to know how I made this paper storage. It's so easy, and it was like $25 for all 6 of these. And I decided I had a gap down here. It was filled with junk until a few minutes ago. But when I am putting my catalogs together, I've got all these little pieces that I need to keep together to separate, only to put them back together. So I thought I would make a different kind of holder for this one here, because as you can see, I've got all my cardstock all sorted the way I need it to be. So this stand was from Canadian Tire, and it is 11 by 11, I believe, whereas IKEA Kallax is 12 by 12. So for that, you're going to need different measurements anyways. But basically, all I did was I measured. Let me back up. All you need for this, obviously, some foam core, and I bought I believe it was 3 sheets for each of these. Tape measure, X-Acto knife, hot glue gun, which I have plugged in, plenty of glue sticks, and a T-square ruler. So we're gonna turn this around, but basically all I did for these ones was I measured, so these are, I'm pretty sure it's 11 by 11. Yeah, so I cut, these were 9 by 11, because I didn't want them coming all the way to the front. I wanted my cardstock hanging over a little bit so that it's easy to grab. So that was it for that. And I will show you this part of the process. So let's turn this around and get our craft on. Now, if this is your first time catching one of my videos, this is by no means the norm. Typically, I am working over at my desk over here with an Archon mount overhead. I don't usually work on the floor. So if this is your first time, just stick around. I promise it gets better. So like I said, this one's going to be a little bit different. It is still going to be the 11 inches wide, but I'm going to separate it in the middle. So we're still going to go the same as we did with those ones, and then I will put a divider in the middle, and it will give you almost exactly how I did it the first time. So basically what you have to do, your tape measure is for the measurements, and like I said, this is not an IKEA Kallax one. This is Canadian Tire cube shelving. One thing I forgot to mention is you also need a pencil. So what I did was put, the T-square really was an essential part of this. So I want to take it to the 9. Actually, we're going to take it to 11. Nope, we are going to take it to 9. We'll erase that one. Now, I don't need as many slots as I did on this one. So we're going to cut it there as our first one, and then we're going to cut down here, and then we have another 2 inches for our slots in the middle. So let's take this, we're going to cut it at 9. I've got 2 under here right now. Let's take one of those away. And we've got 2 that are measuring down at 9. Just draw your line. It's probably easier if you go this way and then connect in the middle. Now, I did do this probably 2 months ago, so if it doesn't go as smooth, that is because I haven't done it recently. In hindsight, I should have recorded it as I was making it the first time. So we've got our 9 right there. And just connect those 2. Now we want to measure 11 inches out, and then just draw that line. And then we're going to do the same. So you can get 4 shelves basically out of each sheet. And then some dividers as well. And I think you can see why this T ruler is so important. It keeps everything straight. So these parts we don't need. Basically, all I do is now I take that T-square again and just cut through. So that is 2. So you can see that they fit nice and snug in there. So to make the side pieces, I've already got my 8 pieces cut out here. There were 9 when I was doing the paper, but this time we are going to use 8. I found the easiest way was to cut this down to 9 inches. And this ensures that it's not sticking out past your shelf because they are 9 inches long. So just take a couple of your end pieces and cut them. And now the easiest way I found was just to cut it the width of the ruler. We'll start on this side here. So you need 2 per shelf. So hot glue gun is more than ready. And all we are going to do is, you don't need a bottom layer. You can if you want, but you don't need it. I'm gonna work fast because I'm losing light here. Run a bead of your hot glue along the bottom here and stick it on. Just make sure you're going the right direction. So this is 11 inches wide. We need it to be, we need the legs on our short side. Hopefully that will stay now. Okay, run another bead. And I always do a little bit of a twist so that I break off that glue string. Now mine are by no means perfect. If you want yours perfect, to spend a little more time on it, but I was okay with it. So once you have that one on, you're just going to keep going. Now, remember, I want something in the middle of mine this time because I want a separator. So I am going to add another one in the middle. If you were making this for 8.5 by 11 paper, obviously this wouldn't work. But I am not. And I'm just eyeballing it. You could certainly have a line there. Now you're going to take this piece, have another glue stick at the ready because this one is running low, and you're going to have to work really fast on this one so that that first line doesn't cool before you've gotten to the end of your last one. I'm sure there are other glues you could use, but hot glue was my glue of choice. So And just making sure you're covering all three and you're flush against there. And like I said, mine doesn't have to be perfect. In another life, I was a perfectionist, but I have grown to learn that it is just not attainable. So when I'm lining this up, chances are this is going to end up being my front. I don't care if the back isn't level. So now we are doing another outside. Give it a little spin at the end. You can see some of them got a little bit away from me, but that's all right. So you can also see that you can customize it so that you can have as many cubbies as you want. So I've got 3 on that top one. So I can put my catalog labels in there and my address labels and then my business cards, and they could have actually been smaller. I've got my upcoming class schedule, and that will fit in there. My stamp club brochures, and that will fit in there. I've got a join my team info sheet. Now this one's a little bit narrower, so it's going to be something smaller that fits in those ones, but you can see, not perfect. I could have taken a lot more time to make sure I get these straight, but with this hot glue you need to make sure that you get them down immediately. So I hope that was helpful to you, and if you make one of these, I would love if you would tag me in it, Stamped AF, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest. So thank you for joining me, my friends. I hope that you will consider hitting that subscribe button below and join me for a new video each and every week. Bye!